Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnava.
Very soon we shall have our own publication, Macmillan Company. What is your report?
I had a rough day today.
Eh?
I didn't get any new members today. I went over to McGill, and not very many of the teachers, professors there, know about the temple, especially the chemistry professors. I don't think chemistry professors go too well with Krishna consciousness.
No, you have to convince them that chemistry or philosophy or anything without Krishna consciousness, it is all useless. Sakarmana tamam bharcha sansiddhi labati para. That verse I was explaining that atapum vidija sreshtha varnasama vibhagasa shan sthitasya dharmasya sansiddhi haritosha. Test for sorry. So he is recording there.
Must be better if we record with this one, because I don't do that. Something wrong.
What is that?
I think to record with the dictaphone, because I think the tape recording is
Tape recording is going on?
yes.
You can sit down. So, everyone is working, never mind, in whatever occupation one is engaged. That doesn't matter. But one has to test whether he is becoming successful. Because everyone wants success. We are not animals that without any success we shall work hard labor. That is animal business. Just like several times I have given the example, Dhopar Gadha, the ass of the washerman. That kind of business and work is now used. Dhopar Gadha, ass of the washerman. Here of course you have no experience. In India there is a class who are called washermen. In India there are different castes. Washerman a class, barber a class. I mean to say, so many departments. Each and every one, there is a class who take up that work. Sweeper a class. All the necessities. The clerk, even clerk, there is a class. The priest, there is a class. The fighter, there is a class. That is nice argument. In India, florist, there is a class. Florist. Their business is simply to supply flower. Fisherman, there is a class. Butcher, there is a class. Just like we have got a temple, now we require potter. Potter, there is a class. In Jagannath temple, the arrangement is that one does not know since how long come. Jagannath temple, Jagannath temple, the prasadam is cooked every day in new earthen pot. No old pot is used. Once used, it is thrown out. Formerly this was the system in India. Even dishes, once used, it is thrown out. No washing. Even golden dishes, silver dishes, once used it is thrown out. And now, golden dishes, there is no use of golden dishes. Neither nobody throws it away. But that was now the earthen dishes, just like china clay dishes, this is considered impure because it is repeatedly used. In India, those who are strict Hindus, earthen dishes, once used, it will be thrown. Clay dishes. So this is china clay dish. It is not to be used again. It is thrown. Just like you have got paper plates and glass here, you eat it and throw it away. Similarly in India, now it is being introduced, these paper dishes gradually, but from very old time, refreshment or foodstuff supplied in clay dishes, and after eating it is thrown out. So, there is a potter class who flourish. They sell their products. They, just like in your country also, so many things are thrown away so that the manufacturer get chance to sell again. So, everyone has got a particular type of profession. The potter, the washerman, the florist, the grain dealer, the silver or gold dealer, the banker, and everything, and the priest, and the warrior. So, even in India still, there is no difficulty for draft food. There is a class, Kshatriya. Oh, they will be very glad to be recruited as soldiers. And they are very strong. Jat, they are called Jat. Gurkha. They don't like any other occupation. Fight. They like the Sikhs. The Sikhs, they are Jat class. And the Gurkha, the whole British Empire was extended with the help of the Sikhs and the Gurkhas. The Britishers took these Gurkhas and the Sikhs to Burma, to Mesopotamia. They liquidated the empire because they lost India. The British soldiers are not helping to keep up their empire. These Indian soldiers. And the first war they gained for these Indian soldiers. They fought in France and everywhere. Very nice. They are fighter class. They like to fight. And fighting is not going every day. So the arrangement was just like you have to fight for the state. So there is no monthly salary system. You are awarded by the government a certain tract of land free. You produce grains and utilize the land, no tax for you. But when there will be war, you shall fight. Very nice arrangement. Similarly, in temple, the florist has to supply flowers daily. Mr. Khanna, am I right? You know this Indian system? So the florist is given a certain tract of land, free, and let him produce flower and make business. But the quantity of flower I require for my temple, he must supply it. Similarly, the bandsman, he should come and play band. Everything was on land distribution. That was the system. And tax was paid to the government, not by assessment. Assessment, whatever your land production is there, you give to the government 1/4. That's all. If you have produced 1,000 man grains, you have to give to the government 250 months. And if you have produced 100, then you give 25. So there is no question of harassment. Whatever is the production is there. So this profession is accepted from Vedic time. Different kinds of men engaged in different kinds of activities. Maybe a florist, maybe a potter, maybe a cobbler, maybe anything, grain producer. So many, society requires so many things. So, according to Vedic system, there is a class. And Bhagavad says that you are engaged in your occupational duty. So, whether you are getting success by such occupational duty, the Vedic system does not condemn anyone. You are a potter or you are lower. No. You are as good as a priest because you are doing your duty. That's all right. Never condemn. This is development of later age when the so-called Brahmins become, I mean to say, treacherous. They began to condemn so-called lower class. There was disruption, the whole social system, but in the beginning it was not. So they have got respectable terms, just like a Brahmin is addressed as Pandit, Maharaj. A Chatri is addressed Thakur Sahib, Thakur, and a merchant is addressed Sethji, and the labor class addressed as Chaudhary, means leader. In this way, everyone has got respectable position. Why? Because the test of their success was one, Vishnu. Success, sakarmana tamabhya samsiddhi labati param. Whatever your occupation may be, that doesn't matter. But if you worship the Supreme Lord by your occupation, then you are successful. The florist supplies flower to the temple. The potter supplies pots to the temple. The priest chants mantra in the temple. The Kshatriyas, they protect the temple, they supply the expenditure of the temple. Because the land belongs to the Kshatriya, they are royal class. Because they occupied land, so they have got the obligation to give protection to the country, fight. They shall fight. And here, at the present moment, the arrangement is that you have no line and no land. You are landless, but you are called to fight. Why? This system is condemned system. The Kshatriyas, they are royal class, they possess land, so they had an obligation to protect the country. Therefore they were fighting. How nice arrangement. Those who are occupying the administration of the country, they should fight. But they are sitting very nicely in their armchair and calling somebody to go and fight and be killed. This system is not scientific system. Therefore the caste system is very nice. They are now being condemned, not condemned, but they want to revise it. But this is a very scientific system. Why? It is created by Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Bandham Maya system Gunakarma Vibhaga. I have created the 4 divisions of caste. It is not exactly caste, section, Bandham. So how you can stop? It is natural. So, Bhagavad recommends, Sutta Goswami is addressing Atapam Vidijasreshta Varnasama Vibhaga. This system of sectional division, he is Brahmin, he is Kshatriya, he is Vaishya, he is Shudra, he is Brahmachari, he is householder, he is Vanaprastha, he is Sannyasi, or subsection, he is potter, he is washerman, he is this and that, etc. You may divide it or not, this section will be there in every society. But Bhagavad says that you may be situated in any section, it doesn't matter. Either you be a Kshatriya or a Brahmin or a potter or a washerman or whatever you may be, it doesn't matter. Everyone should be satisfied by his occupation. But how one gets successful by his occupation? He hasn't got to change the occupation. In the material world, one has to change his occupation for certain kind of success. Suppose if you are a potter, now if you want to become engineer, so you have to change your occupation as potter. But in the spiritual world, you haven't got to change your position. And still you get success, spiritual life. That is the beauty. You haven't got to change. If somebody says, that, sir, I am potter, how can I be Krishna conscious? It requires that one should be a Brahmin, one should be a very learned man, Vedanta philosophy, and one must have the sacred thread and this and that. So I am a potter, I am a cobbler, I am a washerman. And no, Krishna says no. You do not require to change. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says you do not require to change. Krishna says that sakarmana tamabhaj. You just try to worship the Supreme Lord by the result of your occupation. Because Krishna requires everything. So if you are a potter, you supply pots. If you are florist, you supply flowers. If you are carpenter, you work for temple. If you are washerman, they wash clothing of the temple. Temple is the center, Krishna. And everyone gets chance to offer his service. Therefore, temple worship is very nice. This temple should be organized in such a way that we don't require any money. You give your service. That's all. You be engaged in your service. Don't change your service. But you try to serve the temple means the Supreme Lord by your occupation and duty.
In the correct position, you might have a community. And
the community is supposed to be there. The potter is there, the washerman is there, the grocer is there, the milkman is there, everyone is there. So we haven't got to form community.
No, I mean in the correct position that the temple will be the center of the community.
Yes, temple is open for everyone. Let them come and sit down, chant Hare Krishna, hear Bhagavad Gita. We don't say, Hari Potter, no, you are not allowed. We don't say that. Hari Cobbler, you are not allowed. No, you don't say that. Everyone is welcome. Come on. And what is the business? Chant Hare Krishna. Everyone can do it. And what is the next business? We read some nice philosophical portion from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad. Yeah, you have got the ears. But the rascals are not coming. That is their rascal now. Because they will go to hell. We are offering the greatest facility. But they are so rascals they are not coming. This is a rascal civilization. What is difficulty there? You come, sit down, chant Hare Krishna, take nice prasadam, hear philosophy, see nice pictures, decorated, deity. What is the difficulty there? But their brain is full with rascal now. Oh. They'll go to cinema, they'll go to hotel, they'll go to some other thing, but they will not come to temple. Or church or anywhere where these things are done. This is called Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means they are so condemned that they don't get facility of the highest benefit. They have been educated, they have been trained in such a way that they don't like this. But this is their success. Bhagavad says, Samsiddhi Haritosam. Atah Pungviti Srashta Varnasama Vibhavas. Vibhavas means section and division. My dear learned Brahmins, because Sudha Goswami was speaking to very learned assembly of Brahmins, Srimad Bhagavatam, because it is understandable not by ordinary class of men, but they are not disallowed. It depends on the speaker to present very nicely for their understanding. It is not arbitrary stop. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. This is the process. Sinnadang Sabada Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana Riddantastha Avadrani Vidunati Suhit Satam. If you kindly come and hear about Krishna, then Krishna will be very much pleased upon you. Anyone, suppose if somebody is interested with you, he likes your activity, he likes to hear about your qualities, he will be also pleased with you. Oh, this man is interested with my affairs. So, Sinnatan Sagadha Krishna. Krishna is within your heart. Krishna is within and without. Because he is all pervading. It is not that he is simply without or within. He is within and without. That is all part. Akhilatma Bhuta. And all pervading does not mean that he is not in Goloka Vrindavan. He is there also. Golokeva Nivasati Akhilatma Bhuta. Although he is about Goloka Vrindavan, he is everywhere. Just like sun. He is 90 millions miles away from here, situated in sun globe, but he is everywhere. This light now, this is sunlight. So if sun can remain in that way everywhere, why not the Supreme Personality of God? He also remains everywhere. So he is within your heart. And when he sees that you are interested in hearing about him, he becomes sympathetic. He is sympathetic to everyone. He is still more sympathetic. So, what does he do? Sinnatang Sakata Krishna. Krishna, when he sees that one is interested in hearing about him, then he gives you facility. What is that facility? The facility is Sinnatang Sakata Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana. Krishna katha talks about Krishna. You either you understand it or not understand it. It doesn't matter. If you simply sit down to receive, give oral reception to such message, you become pious immediately. Panna Savana Kirtan. You don't understand. Simply you talk and discuss and hear, you become pious. Just like fire. You come to the fire, you understand it or not understand it, you get warm. That facility is there. You don't require to understand how fire is produced, what is the chemical or physical constitution. You do it, understand or not understand. And just like you sit down on a car, motor car, you understand it or not understand it, what is the engineering of the car, but you run on. Similarly, Krishna katha, the simple method, if you kindly come and hear, then you will be pious. That is the first installment. If you don't understand, or don't follow, that the injection is there, you become pious. Pannasravana. And if you give little attention, then the result will be riddhantasya amadrani. All undesirable things that is accumulated within your heart, that will be clear. Krishna will help you.
Now, supposedly the false ego and the rest of this thing.
What is the false ego? And now you have to hear, that's all.
No, I mean the attention itself. This is material, very, very subtle.
Yes, if you give attention, it is better. Even if you don't give attention, simply hear, that will also have some effect.
So we should be able to control our attention then, to direct our attention to where.
Then what is the use of sitting if you don't control your attention? Then you are simply wasting time. Why do you come? That is understood. When you come to hear, that means you must hear with attention. But this is a concession that even if you don't hear with attention, you become purified. But if you do it, you make progress. You get the result very quickly. So, the success of life is to please Krishna as the Supreme Lord by one's occupational duty. Atak Pugmiti Jasreshta Varnasana Vibhagasa Sanusthitena Dharmena Sanusthitena Dharmena Samsiddhi Haripurusha. One should try to satisfy the absolute truth, personality of Godhead. And Lord Chaitanya also recommend that you remain in your occupation, that doesn't matter, but you submissively try to hear. So we are giving this chance to the people, please come and hear, but they are not preparing for that. The age is so strong, the Kali Yuga, that it will dictate mind, it dictate why you go there, what is there. But actually, those who have come to us, those who are following, they are so much changed. That is the fact. They are seeing. They are hearing, it will be. They are seeing, it is. It's still interesting. Just like a class of men, they see that a person who has committed theft is arrested by police, and is hearing that if you commit theft, then he will be sinful or he will be caught by the laws of the state. So seeing and hearing still is committing theft. Why? By experience, practical experience, he is seeing that here is a man committed theft, he is punished, he is going to arrested by the police. And he has heard also that if somebody commits theft, he will be punished. Now what do you want? Two things are required. Dakashana, seeing and hearing, for gaining knowledge. So he has got knowledge by seeing and hearing, but still, that means the heart is not clear. So this thing will be helpful for clearing the heart. Shinnatang sakata krishna punnasannati. Simply by legal obligation one cannot be purified. You may enact thousands of rules and regulations and laws, you cannot purify the heart of the people. Here is the process to purify the heart of the people. Therefore, this will be taken advantage of. Simply by saying that if you do this, then you will be punished. Nobody cares for that. Just like a child, the parents daily says, "My dear boy, don't do this. This is mischief." But he does. Just like a dog, animal. Because the heart is not purified. The knowledge is not there. But this is the process for purifying the heart. Chetadarpana marjanam. This is the process. So one should take advantage of this process, how to purify the mind, how to purify the heart. Then he will be perfect personality, perfect man. Sinnatang Sagatah Krishna. So we don't say that you change your profession, you change your position or occupation. No. Please come and hear. Please, if you don't chant, please hear. That hearing process also will cure it. Savanam Kirtanam. So, people should come to our temple and hear this chanting, this. We are not taxing, we are not asking any. If you give some contribution, there is temple and management, there is expenditure, heavy expenditure in this country. If you so kind, it is very kind of you. Even if you do not pay, you don't like, please come. Please come and hear. Please bring your friends if you are really friends. So, it's a very nice thing. Sthane sthita sutigatang tanuvang manohi. You remain what you are. You don't say that you change, but you hear. Sutigatang. Suti means this ear. God has given you this nice thing. You just inject this transcendental vibration through this ear. And you will breathe. And When you purify yourself, then you know how to make your life successful by your occupation. Sakarmana tamam bhaccha samsiddhi lavate param. Samsiddhi means perfection. So even 50 years, not 50 years, about 60 years before in our childhood, or more than 65 years before, when we were 5, 6 years old, this system of hearing in the evening, in every village, there was current. And my maternal uncle's house was in the suburb of Calcutta. So in our childhood, when we used to go to our maternal uncle's house, all the ladies and members of the house would go to a place where Bhagavad Gita is being discussed. They will sit down. All the members of the neighboring people, they will come, a big crowd, and they will hear, and whatever they can pay, they will pay. And with that impression, at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, they will go to bed. Right? Usually, the meeting was taking place after night dinner, you see, say about at 9 o'clock. And from 9 to 10, 11, the discussion would go on, and then the members disperse and go to their respective home. We have seen. And all the ladies, whole row, they will discuss. The priest told these, they discuss very seriously to understand. So they don't require any education. Simply by hearing, they become at home. This is the country. Sinnatang, sakatang, sinnatang. Just try to hear. Very nice process. So we are inviting people. We have got so much big space. Unfortunately, nobody is coming to hear. Mr. Khanna, why they do not come? No, can you guess any reason?
Many people don't know about it, correct? Many people are not aware of the temple.
At least there's so many people came on that day. At least they know. They have no interest. That is the thing. That this life is meant for perfection in self-realization or Krishna consciousness. The dull brain does not allow to understand this fact. Therefore I was explaining last time, Sumedhasa, a good brain substance. So people are becoming dull and talking all nonsense. They are interested in so many nonsense things. It's like yesterday the gentleman came. You were present? Yes. He was talking that on zero, some great Swami spoke 4 hours. And he was very proud that on zero one can speak throughout his whole life. No, I did not. That if you can speak on some subject matter for 4 hours, how it is zero? Just see the contradiction. Gaurasundar, you were present when you were speaking. You heard. If I can speak something on a subject matter, is that subject matter zero? Zero means sunna. Sunna means nothing. How you can speak on nothing? If you can speak on nothing, then nothing is no more nothing, it is something. This. But he was so proud. Oh, he spoke on zero for 4 hours. I did not contradict because he is newcomer, but I talked on other subject. But this is the position. Suppose you can talk on zero for 4 hours, then either you waste your time, because after it is zero, the result is zero. Just like you add 1 million zeros, so what is the value? Zero. So who is a fool that knowing that 1 million zeros makes zero, why shall I waste my time making so many zeros? Either he is a fool, or if zero has so much substance to speak, then how it is zero? If zero has so much value that one can speak on it for hours and hours together, then how it is zero? So people do not understand things very properly. They are so dull. He was eulogizing the man who spoke on zero for 4 hours. Yes. That is the system. You hear a man talking nonsense and people will give clap, and if you ask him what you have understood, it is very difficult to express. Then why are you going to waste your time if you cannot express, if you do not understand? Simply, people want jugglery of words. They don't want substance. They don't want substance. That is the difficulty of the present age. Sakarmana tamabhatta samsiddhi param sanusthitasya dharmasya samsiddhi paritosa. So we should learn this nice, simple fact that whether by your work Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is being satisfied. Just like a student, how he is prosecuting his studies will be tested at the examination, how he can satisfy the examiner. Similarly, whatever we may do, we have to inquire or to understand whether by that work the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied. Unfortunately, they do not believe in God, or if they had some ideas of God, now they say God is dead. So they do not think that it is necessary to please God. There is
In other words, if we have a decision to make, we should make the decision always in terms of how it's going to affect my service to Krishna. In other words, you don't necessarily make snap decisions. I mean, there's probably very have to consider it all from different points of view.
It is not difficult.
No. But I mean, you have to consider all the different views and figure out how you're going to serve Krishna the best way.
Yes, Krishna can be served by his own occupation, as I described just now. Whatever you may be a potter, you may be a florist, you may be whatever you may be. But you can satisfy Krishna by your work. You do not require to qualify yourself with some specific qualification. Whatever qualification you have got, you have to dovetail it under the direction of expert spiritual master, how you can serve. That's all.
What does that expert mean in the list of qualifications for a devotee? There's in the list of qualifications of a devotee, there's one qualification, expert.
Yeah.
What does that mean in relation to the occupation?
Expert means whatever he is doing, he must do it very nicely. That's all. Suppose you are sweeping this room, you can do it very nicely to your best knowledge. That is expert. The people will say, oh, you are very nicely done. Any work you do it very nicely. That is expert. Don't do it haphazardly. To your best talent, to your best capacity, try to finish it very nicely. Whatever you are interested with some work, do it nicely. That is expert. If you think that you are unable to do that work, then whatever work you can do, you take, but do it nicely. That is expert. Don't imitate. I have no capacity to work in that way, but I want to imitate, oh, he is doing that, I shall do that. Don't do that. That is not expert. You take up what you can do very nicely and do it nicely. There are so many works. Krishna is not that he is static, he is dynamic force. Just like Arjuna. He was not a Vedantist, he was not a Brahmin, he was not a sannyasi, he was householder, he was military man, but he knew his business, how to do it nicely. So you do your business nicely, that is expert. And when it is dovetailed in Krishna, there is no gradation, that this business is better and that business is lower. Because everything is for Krishna. So that business becomes Krishna. And do it nicely. And Krishna is satisfied. And that is your success. व्यापारीषु व्यापारं जो नरो कर्तुमिच्छति समूल हन्नते किलत्पाठिव वानरवत्. Expert. There is a very nice story in Sanskrit. A monkey. You might have some experience that sawman, those cut wood, sawman. So a sawman was cutting wood by the saw. So at the end of business, it was half cut. So he pulled on a plug, so that next day he will come and will again begin sawing. So one monkey came. So monkey sat down there and began to pull on the plant. Because monkey's business is simply mischievous. So he did not know that his plough and some portion of his thigh was within the hole, and when he took out this plough, it was, I would say, clipped, and he could not get out and died. So the instruction is that kilotpatiyo vanara, abhyaparesu vyapara. Abhyapara means an occupation which is not fit for you. That is abhyapara. Abhyaparesu vyapara. And one occupation which is not exactly fitting you, you do not know how to do it. So vyaparesu vyaparang junaka. If one wants to act in a business in which he is unable to do, then he is killed just like this fool monkey. Abhyaparesu vyaparang junano kartum ichchati samudha annate. That foolish person is killed just like this monkey. The monkey's business was not to imitate this showman, but he wanted to imitate. And the result was that he was killed. But that is not expertness. Expertness is to just try to do which is easily performed by you. Don't accept anything heavy task, because Krishna does not want that you have to do these heavy tasks. Whatever you know, you just apply. You don't tell it in Krishna consciousness. Krishna does not say that you have to become like this, like that, then you can serve. He does not say. Just like this cow, you see. What does it know? It's an animal. You see? But the calf knows to brush his head and tongue is like this in love. That's it is doing, and Krishna accepts it. Yes. That is expert. First of all, find out what is easily done by you. Don't take anything which is not easily done by you. You find out what is your occupation, what you can very nicely and easily perform, and do it for Krishna. Is that clear? Expert. This is expert. Expert does not mean that I do not know how to drive motor car and I'll have to imitate somebody. Oh, I shall become driver. Why? If you do not know driving, why should you attend driving? Whatever you know, you just try that business and try to satisfy Krishna. If you know driving, that's all right. But don't take, my Guru Maharaj explained that you haven't got to learn anything extra for Krishna's service. Whatever you know, you just apply it in Krishna's service. Then you become satisfied. Because our time is very short. We do not know when I am going to die. as soon as I am out of this body, I am completely under the grip of nature. And I do not know what kind of body I am getting next. Of course, Krishna assures that his devotee will never be vanquished. He will get good body. But I do not know what kind of body I am getting. Therefore, before finishing this body, I will have to develop Krishna consciousness very nicely. That is my success. Labdha sudhurvamidam bahusambhavanti. After many of evolutionary process, I have got this nice human form of body in America or India, in civilized nation or rich family. I have no economic problem. That's all right. So it is to be understood they are simply wasting. Oh, how miserable it is. They get the opportunity and they are simply wasting for sense gratification. Just like cats and dogs. Whole day working, whole day laboring. Why? Sense gratification. Oh, that is also in the whole society. Eating stool, living in nasty place, and they have got very good facility for sex. Is that the end of life? So Bhagavad says, Nayana deha deho bhajang vinoti kastana kamana harti virbhujanti. You are working so hard and the end should not be simply sense gratification. The sense gratification you can get in hum society, dog society without any extra qualification. That is Vishaya Khalu Sarvatasya. Vishaya means this sense gratificatory business you will have in any life, in bird's life, in dog's life, in cat's life. So do you think that human life is also meant for that purpose? Then what is the meaning of civilization? Is that civilization? If the end of life is the same, that's like cats and dogs, is it civilization? They do not know what is civilization. They forgot. They think that eating very nicely in a palatable dish, that is civilization. Only eating is eating. And if you are hungry, anything satisfies you, that is eating. Finish. So you can eat. Sleeping, when you are fast asleep, you do not know whether you are on the nice building, in a nice apartment. You are dreaming that you are thrown into the ocean. Sleeping. So, simply for nice arrangement for sleeping, is that civilization? At least if one understands that this is my business is not to work hard and end it by sense gratification. This is not my business. That is samsiddhi, that is success. If at least one understands this aim of life, even little understands, he gets next human body, that is guaranteed. At least he is not going to get any cats and dogs body. That is stated in Bhagavad. Suchinang simatangihi yoga brashta sanjayat. And when Arjuna inquired that if a man cannot execute this yoga system, bhakti yoga system, Krishna consciousness, if it is half finished or 1/4 finished or 10% finished, not complete finished, then what is the result? He is good for nothing? No, Krishna said, no. Salpamapi yasya dharmasya trayati mohadubhaya. Even little understood, it can save him from the greatest danger. And Suchinang simatangihi yoga brashta sanjaya. If one is not successful in this life, then he is given another chance, next life, where Suchina, a nice transcendentalist, the Brahman or Vaishnava, devotee or pious man in his family. Or less than, if he is less qualified, then he is given a chance to get his birth in a rich family. And both the families, in rich family, he has no economic problem. And in a pious family, he gets direct opportunity to advance his past Krishna consciousness again. So in these two families, he gets another chance. But unfortunately, those who are born in rich family, they immediately give up all principles of Krishna consciousness. Oh, I have got so much money without any labor, let me enjoy. This is Maya. He does not think, because he has no education, that you have got this opportunity, that you have no economic problem. Take this opportunity for advancing Krishna consciousness. Engage your full time to become a devotee. Nobody educates him. The poor boy or pure fellow is misguided. He gets his friend, oh, you have got so much money, let us enjoy. He marry and enjoy. So he becomes again cats and dogs.
What is that type of pleasure? It's material pleasure. That a person feels if he's engaged in material pursuit, he feels some kind of pleasure. It's not very much pleasure, but some pleasure. What is that pleasure made of? Because if he's enjoying sense gratification, it's just...
That is pleasure. That is material pleasure. Material pleasure means sex pleasure, that's all. The end of material pleasure, the topmost material pleasure is sex pleasure. So these materialists, they are trying to get pleasure from the sex life. In this way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Because they have no other information. Material pleasure means sex pleasure. Sex pleasure, tongue pleasure, and there manufactures so many things. That gentleman was sitting and asking, can I smoke? The tongue is agitating. Please give me one cigarette. One cigarette. He becomes disturbed. And he said, no, you cannot smoke. This is material pleasure. You train up your senses in such a way that it becomes addicted. It cannot get out of the entanglement. So this Krishna consciousness will save you. Janamaithanadi grahamedi sukham mitucham. They are all explained in Srimad. The material pleasure means sexual intercourse, that's all. That is the saman substance of pleasure. You will find everywhere two, one male and female, one male and female. Either legitimate or illegitimate, either human being or animal or bird, so these, the male and female, male and female. This is material. And unless one is strongly equipped in Krishna consciousness, it is not possible to give up. That is the case. It is not possible. Therefore Krishna is Madana Mohan. He can captivate even the Cupid. This is Cupid's business. Attraction of male and female. And when that Krishna attracts you, you forget this Cupid attraction. Therefore he is known as Madan Mohan. Jayatang Sritu Panga Mamo Mandan Materiyati Matsarvasya Padam Bhuju Radha Madan Mohan. This is the beginning.
When do we become attracted? When do we begin to become attracted?
Well, then forget that. You are attracted, that you take account of. When you become diseased, that is useless. You are diseased, take medicine. There is no necessity of asking when you become diseased. You are diseased, take medicine, that's all. What is the use of tracing the history? Everything has its history, that's all right. But my immediate necessity is that I am diseased, I want to be cured. Give me some medicine. But there is history. The history is this, that just like disease, you have fallen victim of disease, that means you have given chance to the infection, that's all. That is the saman substance of history. You are infected with some disease, that means you have given chance for that infection. There was a story in a medical journey, Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary, one girl, whenever she was present, everyone was being infected with typhoid. Then she was examined, and that she is full of typhoid germs. But she was immune. But she infected wherever she went. The medical journal report. So we should be careful not being infected. And that how you can become free from infection? These four rules. Don't have this, don't have this, don't have this, don't have this. Then you are free from infection. See, you should be careful from being infected. There is no use tracing out the history when you become infected. not be infected. That should be your desire. And as you are now infected, you try to avoid the causes of infection and take the medicine, you become cured. Some prasad. So, Annapurna, you have got some news?
I had a message from my father. I had a message from my father.
So, is that all right? So, what is our next program? That letter is encouraging. That's all. So on behalf of Krishna, we have to canvass with folded hands and with all humility, please come to us and hear. He sadhava sakalameva vihaya duda Chaitanya chandra chalane kurutam ragam.
Speculation.
Yeah. Speculation is gambling.
Swamiji, I'm reading a book by Vivekananda. A book by Swami Vivekananda. There's some letters in the back. I was looking at
Vivekananda book, we have nothing to do. Forget. It's all nonsense.
This was not his philosophy. I was just looking at his technique for his. He was in America first, and then he wished also to go to Europe. When he had one man who just had a rich benefactor, and he went on a 6 weeks tour. France, England, Germany, all around, and then back. And that's how he did most of his touring. He had one or two influential people, and then he did everything just like that. And all lectures were arranged, and societies.
So you can arrange like that. Can you?
I was thinking if there would be in the Royal Asiatic Society in London, I think Thakur Bhaktivinoda was a member of that also. Is that the same one?
Where is Thakur Bhaktivinoda now?
No, but there would be some people there, open correspondence with them, and they might be interested in sponsoring it.
It is not, you know, it was first. Is there anything about Krishna in Vivekananda's speech?
Well, I wasn't reading his speeches, just I wanted to see how he works there. Well, I know he's a rascal. It's easy.
So you can give me a little milk and finish business. All glory is to Rasamurti Lord. Yes, all glory is to you because you are interested in Krishna consciousness. Certainly it is glorious. Greatest science. Please try to understand it very nicely. We'll be all happy. That is my request.
What was this picture of me? It's Krishna in the fire. This is on the nun screen of Krishna.
Like this. Some imagination. Some imagination.
Imagination.
I'll cheat it.